Well, your work's over for the day, guys. And here's your paycheck.
Thanks, Doyle.
Did you do the same amount of work?
Yep.
All right. $1 for you. $100 for you.
Thank you. Seems like an unfair distribution of wealth. I'm Bill Nye, and today we're going to be delving into the social science of economics. We're going to be looking at one of the leading economists of our generation, Amartya Sen, and his theory on welfare economics. Econ. 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 Econ.
Rules.
Econ.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Econ.
T minus 7 seconds.
Econ. On our first episode of Bill Nye the Econ Guy, we're going to be delving into welfare economics. It's a subjective study that may assign units of welfare or utility in order to create models that measure the improvements to individuals based on their personal scales. But we'll make that more clear later. Amartya Sen's parents were well off. They provided him with a comfortable childhood in India. His first degree was in economics, but he went on to study other bachelors of arts, including math and philosophy. Currently, he's working at Harvard, but he's researched at some of our top institutions, including the London School of Economics and Oxford.
Sorry, I had to reschedule so many times. I have a terrible assistant.
It's quite all right.
So, what influenced you to get into economics?
Well, I would say the Bengali famine of 1943.
Famine?
Yes, a famine.
Like when grasshoppers eat all your crops?
Well, no, that's not what a famine is. A famine is when there's a mass starvation in a country. And what happens is, in the Bengali famine of 1943, it wasn't a lack of food, but it was poor economic policy that led so many to starve.
Interesting. So our viewers don't know much about economics, and they know much less about your notorious work. So if there were 3 things you wanted them to walk away from with this interview, what would that be?
Well, first, I'd like to show people something that goes under the category of welfare economics. It's called the Interpersonal Utility Comparison.
And did you come up with that yourself, or was there someone else before you that created that?
Well, of course not. Every economist builds off the research of others. So with my research on this subject, I built it off of Lionel Robbins, who stated that someone can't compare 2 humans in terms of utility because individuals are unlike, and someone may like different or have different preferences than another. But I believe that you can compare 2 individuals in terms of utility, but you must use the immalleable factors, such as food, happiness, shelter, personal freedom, etc.
A lot of Amartya Sen's work has to do with interpersonal utility comparison. How do you value 2 things that are different? How do you tell which one is worth more when you're comparing apples and oranges? Here we have an industrialist and an artist. What's worth more, the final product, the calculator, or the beautiful piece of art? When it comes down to interpersonal utility comparison, the key is to measure with immalleable factors. That means things that are innately worthy, things that have value no matter who you are.
The immalleable factors:
shelter, food, personal freedom, happiness, and education.
So, what's the second thing you want people to walk away with?
But if I had to choose a second thing, I would choose my work on the Impossibility Theorem.
And that's based off of your own work or somebody else?
No, of course. It's based off of Kenneth Arrow's Impossibility Theorem, in fact. But I agree with him, what he stated there, and I developed something called the Sen's paradox.
Well, what is the Impossibility Theorem?
The Impossibility Theorem states that A small group of individuals, politicians, for example, can't correctly govern such a large society of individuals because they have so many preferences and attitudes. So, to put it into simpler terms, no voting system is completely fair. There's always a slight winner, always a slight loser. But with today's economic and government policies, we're coming closer to the right options with economic policy.
I'm hungry.
Me too, I'm starving.
I want nachos.
I want a ice cream sundae.
We only have enough to buy one though.
Yeah, but we can vote on it. We can compromise then.
But what happens if we both vote different things?
I don't know, it'll probably work out.
Okay, maybe we can make a combo or something.
What do you vote for?
I vote for nachos.
Well, I vote for an ice cream sundae.
Compromise.
Ew. I don't want this.
This sucks, man.
As you can see, when our friends tried to come to a collective decision, it didn't work out because of their unique preferences. This sums up the Impossibility Theorem.
What's the last thing you want people to walk away with in this interview?
Well, last, I would want them to know about the capability theory. And this one, like, I know your question's coming. This is my theory. I actually created it. And my capability theory states that it's important for individuals in a society to have the right inputs to create output. And that means infrastructure, education, job opportunity centers, and all these things are going to help an economy rise and help output increase. You can't expect an economy to change from policy that isn't starting from the ground up.
You know what would be really good with these?
What?
If we had milk. Whoa, where'd you get that? Whoa, dude. You're supposed to pour it in a cup.
Oh.
That was a perfect example of the capability theory. Just like our friends needed a glass before they can pour themselves a glass of milk, in our economy we need the proper inputs to promote the proper outputs. For example, we've got to have the proper infrastructure, schools, roads, all these things promote growth in a free market economy.
And now for the great debate. Weighing in from the left corner, Karl Marx, a communist. Weighing in from the right corner, Adam Smith, a supporter of the free market economy. We'll be debating the merits of Amartya Sen's work. Karl Marx, you may begin.
If I were to give my personal belief, I would say that Amartya Sen's beliefs are basically stupid. There are some ideas, though, that I do support, including his idea that the government should intervene a little bit in the economy. And an example of this is from his research on the Bengali famine of 1943, as told in his essay, Poverty and Famines. In this case, the urban uprising caused food prices to skyrocket. However, all the laborers' wages stayed the same, leaving most of them hungry and famished, leading to massive amounts of death. Sen concluded that the government must intervene at times in order to help the people like this. And that is why I believe that this part of his ideas are grounded, because the only way to run a full and healthy economy is through communism.
Oh.
And now for the rebuttal from Adam Smith.
Interesting idea. Well, sure, Amartya Sen might have said we needed some help, some government action in the Bengali famine, but he was a defender of the free market, something you clearly have no idea about. Also, his work focused on welfare economics, something that
is very in line with what the research I did was on. For example, my invisible hand. A butcher and a baker, they provide food and meat for the consumer. But they are not providing food and meat for the consumer's benefit, but for the benefit of themselves. And Amartya Sen is a defender of this theory. And also, how can you support Amartya Sen when he was the winner of the Adam Smith Prize in 1954? I clearly am a firmer supporter of Amartya Sen's works.
Ding, 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 ding. And the winner is Adam Smith.
Dude, this is actually like really good.
Yeah, I know.